Welcome back to Stoic Wisdom TV. Have you ever fired off a text to a woman and found yourself trapped in that agonizing limbo, ticking by, maybe even a full day, with nothing but silence? Then, if you're lucky, you get a single, soul-crushing K, or worse, the abyss of no reply at all. If that hits home, take a deep breath. You are not the only one. Most men have felt that quiet burn, that subtle twist of unease when the phone stays dark. And if you've somehow sidestepped this torment, drop a no in the comments below, because I'm genuinely curious about your sorcery. Teach me your ways, master. Let's cut through the noise. Texting shouldn't feel like a high-stakes chess match, each move overanalyzed and still ending in checkmate. Yet for so many guys, that's exactly what it is, a mental tug-of-war they can't win. They send a message, then spiral into obsession. Glance at the phone every 5 minutes. Reread their words a dozen times, second-guessing the tone, the punctuation. That winking emoji they thought was clever but now looks desperate. When she doesn't respond, that hollow pit in their gut grows heavier. I've been there too, brother. I know the sting. And here's the brutal twist. The more you strain to get it perfect, the more she seems to slip away. Here's the raw truth. Most men sabotage their own game without even clocking it. They text in ways that smother attraction, too eager, too obvious, too easy to shrug off and forget. But what if I told you that with 3 simple, deliberate shifts, you could rewrite the story? Not scrambling for her attention like a beggar at the gate, but stepping into the kind of man she waits for. The one who lingers in her mind even when your screen's off. That's what we're unpacking today. 3 texting strategies, forged in psychology and tempered by Stoic awareness. No cheap pickup lines, no sleazy tricks, just real, grounded principles that pull women in naturally. If you're done fading into the background and ready to stand out, let's dive in. Imagine this scene. You tap out a text to her, hit send, and brace for the usual, either a slow drip of silence or a half-hearted cool hours later. But this time it's different. She fires back almost instantly, not with some throwaway crumb like nice or lol, but with real juicy questions, enthusiasm, a pulse of energy. She's not just replying, she's locked in, hooked. Sounds like a pipe dream, doesn't it? Like something out of a movie where the guy always knows the perfect line. It's not. It's not magic or luck, it's just how we're built. Curiosity is a raw, primal force, one of the heavy state emotional levers in the human toolbox. When something snags your attention, your mind clamps down on it like a vice. It's a tension that gnaws at you, a loose thread you can't leave alone, a riddle begging to be cracked. Think about it. It's why you'll plow through a TV series late into the night, chasing the next plot twist. It's why those vague, clickbait headlines you'll never guess what happened next reel you in every time. And yeah, it's why some texts sink their claws into you while others drift off into the digital void, forgotten before they're even read. If you can light that same spark in her, she won't just decide to reply, she'll feel compelled to. It's not a choice, it's instinct, hardwired into the way our brains chase closure. But here's where most guys stumble hard. They send messages that are safe, polite, and about as gripping as a tax form. Hope you're having a good day. How was your weekend? Hey, what's up? Are these nice? Sure. Do they stick? Not a chance. They're flat, closed loops, dead-end streets, with no turns to explore. You've handed her the whole script up front, no questions left unanswered, no reason for her to step forward. Let's flip that on its head. Instead of dumping the full story, offer her a sliver, just enough to wake her mind up, not enough to put it back to sleep. Plant a seed and let it take root. Try these on for size. You won't believe what just stumbled into my day. You popped up in my dream last night, caught me off guard. I just caught something about you that's got me thinking. Each one's a tease, a half-drawn sketch. It hints at something bigger but keeps the curtain drawn. That's the curiosity gap you're wedged to pry her interest open. Now she's got to move. Her brain kicks on, spinning through possibilities, picturing the scene, itching for the rest. She's not just reading, she's leaning in, guessing, wanting. But here's where the Stoic spine stiffens. Don't rush to smooth out the tension. Say she bites, what happened? Or what did I do in your dream? Most guys would trip over themselves to spill it all right there, eager to please, terrified of losing her attention. That's where they lose the thread. You're different. You hold your ground. Stretch it out. Try this. It's actually kind of wild. Ever had one of those moments where something random just clicks and drags someone into your head? Now you've turned the dial up. She's not just waiting for the punchline. She's tangled in the build-up. It's not a one-way dump of words, it's a rhythm, a back and forth, and you're the one steering it. This isn't about playing hard to get or dangling bait for cheap thrills. It's about mastery over timing, over impulse, over the urge to overshare. The Stoics hammered this into us. Focus on what you can control, your actions, your intent, and let the rest fall where it will. You're not clawing for her response, you're shaping the exchange. You're not begging her to stay interested, you're giving her a reason to dive in. Men who grasp this don't flounder to keep a conversation gasping. They don't run out of steam because they're not putting on a show, they're sparking something real. When she starts chasing the thread-asking, wondering, investing, she's not just along for the ride. She's emotionally tethered. That's the pivot point. Once she's curious, she's connected. Once she's connected, replying isn't a task, it's a tug she can't ignore. Texting stops feeling like a coronet because you're some slick poet, but because you've tapped into the current that runs beneath human connection. You're not blasting her with a wall of words. You're cracking open a door and letting her step through. That's the power of curiosity. And it's not about tricks or smoke screens, it's about understanding what moves us, what pulls us. It's about wielding that with purpose, not levying it to chance. Let's break it down a bit more, because this isn't just a tactic, it's a mindset. Curiosity works because it's a universal hunger. We're wired to seek, to solve, to fill in the blanks. It's why kids pester you with why until you're hoarse. Why detectives in old noir films chain smoke over unsolved cases. When you drop a text that leaves a question hanging, you're not just chatting, you're handing her a live wire. Her mind can't let it go until she's got the shape of it. But the Stoic angle adds another layer, restraint. Most people, most guys especially, see silence as a threat. No reply yet. Better send another text, quick, before she forgets me. That's panic talking, not principle. A Stoic knows silence isn't the enemy, it's a tool. You don't fill it out of fear, you let it breathe. When she asks what happened, and you ease back with it's too good to rush, ever notice how the weirdest things stick with you. You're not dodging her, you're building something. You're giving her space to feel the weight of it. And that's where the real shift happens. Most conversations die because they're one-sided, guys unloading their thoughts like a dump truck, hoping she'll sift through the pile. But when you spark curiosity, it's not about you anymore, it's about us. She's not just nodding along, she's in the mix, throwing questions back, piecing it together with you. That's engagement, not performance. It's why the best storytellers don't rush to the end, they let you hang on every beat, curvying the next one. You're doing the same here, just with fewer words and a smaller stage. Let's ground this in something concrete. Say you've had a day that threw you a curveball, maybe a stray dog followed you home, or you found an old photo that hit you sideways. Most guys would text, "Hey, a dog followed me home today. It was cute." Done. Over. Nothing left to say. But you go with, "Something bizarre just tailed me all the way home. Guess what it was?" Now she's picturing it, dog, person, lost kid. Her brain's already running, and she's got to reply to find out. When she does, you don't cave. Your closeite's got for legs and a better story than I do. Ever had something tag along you couldn't shake? Boom. She's not just waiting for the answer, she's swapping her own tails, trading pieces of herself. That's not a chat, it's a connection. This is where Stoic wisdom shines. You're not chasing her approval or fishing for a pat on the back. You're acting with intent, not desperation. Marcus Aurelius would have nodded at this: "Do what's in your power, and let the rest unfold." You can't force her to care, but you can set the table. Most guys don't get that, they smother the spark with neediness, texting like their life's on the line. You don't. You drop the line, step back, and let her come to it. If she does, great. If not, you're still whole. That's the strength here, not in her reply, but in your stance. So, texting becomes less about winning and more about crafting moments, not messages. You're not drowning her in noise, you're cutting through it. You're not begging for her time, you're giving her something worth it. That's curiosity's edge, sharpened by Stoic calm. It's effortless because it's real, not a script, but a pull. If this lands with you, Toss a comment my way. What kind of text would hook your curiosity enough to hit back fast? Let's trade some sparks. Below is an expanded version of the content, written in an American voice with a Stoic philosophical lens rooted in self-mastery, emotional restraint, and deliberate action. The tone is conversational yet purposeful, reflecting Stoic ideals like focusing on what's within our control and letting outcomes unfold naturally. This take stretches the original idea to over 1,500 words, diving deeper into the power of anticipation, its psychological underpinnings, and how to wield it with calm precision. Let's dig in. Curiosity might snag her attention, but anticipation is what keeps it locked in place. It's not a loud shout or a desperate grab, it's a quiet hum, a steady undercurrent that has her glancing at her phone, half expecting, half hoping your name's about to flash across the screen. It's subtle, slow building, and damn near unstoppable when done right. Here's why it works. When she's got something worth waiting for simmering in her mind, her brain kicks out dopamine, that same chemical rush you feel when you're tossing clothes into a suitcase for a trip, staring down a wrapped gift you can't open yet, or ticking off the hours to a rare, wide-open Saturday. The longer that tension lingers, the deeper it pulls her in. That's the fertile ground where attraction takes hold, not forced, not rushed, but grown steady and strong. Most guys kill this before it even has a chance to breathe. They give it all up too fast, like they're scared she'll lose interest if they don't lay every card on the table. I got you something today. I've got a fun date planned for us. I've got some news to share. Are these thoughtful? Sure, no question. Do they draw her in? Not really. There's no mystery left to chew on, no space for her mind to wander. She's got the whole picture handed to her, nothing to lean toward, no hook to keep her circling back. It's like surveying up a slice of cake before she's even hungry. The appetite's gone before it starts. The moment's over, and so's the pull. Let's rework that entirely. Take the same seed of an idea and stretch it out. Give her room to roam, not a finished script. Try these instead. Caught sight of something today that screamed your name. Any guesses what it was? I've got something brewing for Friday. You'll either love it or be itching to figure it out. Noticed something about you today. Should I spill it now or let it sit a little longer? See the shift? She's not just skimming your words anymore. She's reaching for them. Her imagination kicks on, filling in the blanks, stirring up emotions as it goes. She's not passively scrolling through her day. She's in the mix, part of the unfolding. That's anticipation doing its work, turning a throwaway text into a live wire. Now, here's where the Stoic edge cuts in. Don't buckle the second she bites. Say she comes back with, "What is it?" Most guys would dump the whole story right there, tripping over themselves to keep her hooked, afraid the silence means she's slipping away. That's impulse, not strength. You hold the line. You don't cave. Try this. I could lay it out now, but where's the fun in that? Take a stab at it first. It's light, it's playful, but it's got steel behind it. You've flipped a simple message into a spark, something she can feel, something that lingers. You're not just another voice chattering in her inbox. You're the one stirring the pot, the one she's turning over in her head even after the screen goes dark. This is emotional restraint in motion, pure Stoic grit. You're not scrambling to impress her, not over-explaining to lock her in. You're steady, measured, guiding the exchange with intent. The Stoics were all about self-command, acting from purpose, not reacting out of need. You don't flood her with everything you've got. You dole out just enough to let her mind run wild. That's what makes anticipation stick. It's not about unloading your whole hand, it's about dealing one card at a time and letting her wonder what's next. Master this, and your texts don't just get a polite cool, they get her invested. She's not just tossing back a reply, she's watching for your next move, checking her phone like it's a reflex. Think of it like tending a fire. Shove too much wood on at once, and you choke it out, smoke and ash, no flame. Feed it slow, piece by piece, and it burns steady, warm, unmissable. That's your goal here, a glow she can't shake, a heat that builds without overwhelming. Most guys don't get that. They pile on the logs, desperate for a blaze, and wonder why it fizzles. You're different. You've got patience, control, the kind of quiet strength that doesn't need to shout. And that's what sets anticipation apart. It's not loud or flashy. It's a pull she feels in her bones. Let's break this down a little more, because it's not just a trick, it's a way of being. Anticipation works because it taps into how we're wired. That dopamine hit isn't just a feel-good bonus. It's a signal, a nudge that says, this matters. Stick with it. It's why you'll wait in line for a concert you've been hyping up. Why the night before a trip keeps you buzzing. When you text something that leaves her hanging, not out of cruelty, but out of craft, you are handing her that same nudge. Her brain can't let it go until it's resolved. But the Stoic twist is in the pacing. You don't rush to tie the bow. You let the tension simmer. When she asks, "What's the plan for Friday?" and you hit back with, "It's good enough to keep you guessing any wild theories," you're not dodging her. You're building something she can step into. You're giving her a piece, not the whole puzzle. And here's where it gets real. Most conversations stall because they're too much, too soon. Guys blast out every detail. "I planned a dinner at this spot." Then we'll hit a movie. It's gonna be great, and leave nothing to unfold. It's a monologue, not a dance. But when you build anticipation, it's not just about you anymore. It's a two-way street. She's not nodding along out of courtesy. She's tossing guesses back, playing the game, investing her own energy. That's the difference. You're not begging her to carry or giving her a reason to. Say you text, "Found something today that's got you written all over it. What's your guess?" She might throw out a book, a weird snack. You come back, close. But it's quirky. River stumble on something that just fits someone you know. Now she's not just waiting for the reveal. She's swapping her own stories, weaving her thread into yours. That's not a chaff, it's a tether. This is Stoic wisdom at its core. You control the action, not the outcome. Epictetus would have loved this. Do what's yours to do, and let her response be what it is. You can't force her to bite, but you can set the stage. Most guys miss that. They text like they're auditioning, spilling their guts to win her over. That's neediness, not strength. You don't. You drop the line, step back, and let it sit. If she leans in, great. If not, you're still standing. That's where the power lies, not in her reply, but in your poise. Let's put it in the dirt for a second. Imagine you've got a surprise up your sleeve. Maybe you snagged tickets to a show she'd love. Or you cooked up a plan for a low-key night that's right up her alley. The average move is, "Hey, I got us tickets for Saturday." Done. Flat. Nothing left to say. But you go with, "I've got something lined up for Saturday, but you can't guess what." She's picturing it now. Concert, dinner, a random adventure. When she bites with, "Tell me," you ease back. It's too good to spoil any hunches. Now she's tossing out ideas, laughing, maybe teasing you to crack. You're not just sharing a plan, you're building a moment. And when you finally let it slip, it's not just news, it's a payoff she's been waiting for. That's anticipation, not announcement. Texting like this isn't about winning her over, it's about crafting something worth her time. You're not drowning her in words, you're cutting through the noise. You're not chasing her attention, you're earning it, slow and sure. That's the Stoic way. Act with purpose, not panic. Anticipation turns the mundane into a thread she can't drop, a spark that lingers all day. Nail this, and she's not just replying, she's checking her phone, hoping it's you. That's your aim, a steady burn she can't ignore. So let's hear it drip. A comment. What's a line you've used, or could use, to build that slow, unshakable pull? Let's sharpen each other's edges. Below is an expanded version of the content, written in an American voice with a Stoic philosophical lens emphasizing discipline, clarity, and authenticity. The tone is direct and reflective, rooted in Stoic principles like valuing what's enduring, acting with intent, and letting go of the need for external validation. This take stretches the original idea to over 1,500 words, diving deeper into the art of genuine compliments, their emotional weight, and how to deliver them with purpose. Let's get into it. Most guys treat compliments like they're a golden ticket. Say something sweet, flash a grin, and bam, she's won over. It's a cheat code in their heads. Plug in the right words, get the prize. But here's the cold, hard truth. A compliment that misses the mark doesn't just fall flat, it can backfire, leaving you worse off than if you'd kept your mouth shut. Why? Because women, especially the ones who turn heads every time they walk into a room, are drowning in a sea of recycled flattery. "You're so beautiful. You're the hottest girl I've ever met. Your eyes are stunning." If she's got a face that stops traffic, she's heard those lines 10 times before noon. They don't hit anymore. They don't make her feel seen or special, they just melt into the background noise. Another echo in the chorus of guys fumbling for something to say. The problem isn't the intent, it's the delivery. A real compliment isn't about laying on sugar until she's sticky with it. It's about precision, honesty, and depth. It's not enough to stare at her like she's a painting on a wall, something pretty to gawk at. You've got to see her, the woman behind the frame, the one who's more than just a surface to admire. Let's stack these up and look at the difference. You've got gorgeous eyes versus I respect how you keep your head. When everything's falling apart, most people just unravel. You're hot versus I like how you speak your piece. Without steamrolling everyone else, that balance isn't easy. You're beautiful versus you've got this way of putting people at ease, like they don't have to play a role around you. Feel that gap? The first set's just static, nice enough, but empty. The second, that's personal. It shows you're paying attention, not just to what's skin deep, but to what's under the hood, how she thinks, how she moves through the world. When a woman feels understood instead of just ogled, that's when something clicks. That's emotional traction, not some fleeting puff of flattery that blows away in the wind. Here's where the Stoic lens sharpens things up. Focus on what lasts: your character, her mind, her presence. Looks fade, and she knows it. Every woman does. But her grit, her way of cutting through the noise, the quiet strength she carries, that's the stuff that endures, the stuff worth calling out. When you zero in on that, you're not just another voice in the crowd, you are stepping into rare territory. A place most guys don't even know exists. They're too busy tossing out shallow bait, hoping for a nibble. You're different. You're not chasing the cheap win. You're seeing what's real and giving it its due. That's the Stoic twist: value what's true over what's easy. But it's not just what you say, it's when. Timing's everything. Don't sling praise around like loose change to fill an awkward silence, or grease the wheels of a conversation. That's desperation, not discernment. Wait for the moment to ripen. Say she's venting about clawing her way toward a goal, work, a passion, whatever's got her grinding. That's your opening. Hit her with, I admire how you don't just talk a big game, you put your boots on and move. Most people stall out at the starting line. Or maybe she drops her guard, lets you see something raw beneath the surface. That's when you say, I respect how straight you are about this. People hide behind small talk, but you don't. That's not flattery, it's recognition, tied to what's happening right there. It lands because it's real, not some line you pulled off the shelf. This isn't about gaming her into liking you. A Stoic doesn't pander or grovel for favor, observes, he weighs. He speaks when it's earned. You're not out here fishing for a gold star or a pat on the head. You're showing spine. The best compliments don't come from a playbook or a pickup artist's bag of tricks. They rise up from being present, from catching what everyone else skims over. When you nail this, she doesn't just flash a polite smile and move on. She feels known. That's a weightier thing than a quick ego boost. It sticks with her, and it ties back to you, not because you begged for it, but because you saw her clear. Let's unpack this a little more, because there's meat on these bones. Most guys miss the mark with compliments because they're aiming at the wrong target. They think it's about making her blush or racking up points, so they lean on the obvious: her face, her figure, the stuff anyone with eyes can see. But here's the catch: if she's striking, she's heard it all before. She's got a mental Rolodex of you're gorgeous from strangers, co-workers, that dude at the gas station last week. It's white noise, no pleasant, maybe, but meaningless. It doesn't set you apart, it lumps you in with the pack. Worse, it can signal you're not really looking, just skimming the surface like everyone else. That's where the damage creeps in. She's not flattered, she's bored. Or worse, she pegs you as another guy who doesn't get it. Now, flip that script. When you call out something deeper, something she's worked for, something she is, you are not just talking, you're connecting. Take that example. I respect how you keep your cool when things get messy. That's not a throwaway line. It says you've watched her in the clutch, seen her hold it together when others would have cracked. It's specific, it's earned, and it's about her, not just her reflection. Or I like how you say what's on your mind without bulldozing anyone. That's not fluff, it's a nod to her skill, her restraint, the way she threads a needle most can't. It proves you're tuned in, not just tossing glitter to see what sticks. That's what cuts through when she feels you've actually seen her, not just the shell. The Stoic angle doubles down on this. It's about truth, not tactics. Marcus Aurelius would have had no time for empty praise. He'd tell you to speak what's real, or keep quiet. You're not here to flatter her into submission. You're here to acknowledge what's worth acknowledging. That takes guts, because it means you've got to pay attention, really pay attention, not just coast on autopilot. Most guys don't. They're too busy chasing approval, firing off compliments, like they're auditioning for her good graces. A Stoic doesn't play that game. You see something solid, her drive, her honesty, her way of making chaos feel safe, and you call it out when the moment's right. Not to win her over, but because it's true. That's integrity, not strategy. And timing's the clincher. A compliment's only as good as its context. Throw it out too early, unprompted, and it feels forced, like you're trying too hard. You're amazing out of nowhere. She'll squint at you, wondering what you're after. But catch her in the act, say she's just navigated a tough spot with grace, and hit her with, "I've got to say, the way you handled that was sharp." Most would have buckled. That's not just words, it's a mirror, showing her what she did through your eyes. Or if she opens up, peels back a layer, don't waste it on your pretty. Go with, "I respect how you don't dodge the hard stuff. Most people just skirt around it." It's tied to the now, not some generic fluff. That's when it sticks, when it's rooted in what's happening, not floating in the ether. This shifts everything. Most compliments are about the giver. "Look at me, see how nice I am." But a Stoic flips it. It's about her, not you. You're not begging for a reaction. You're offering an observation. Epictetus would nod at this. Do your part. Let her do hers. You can't control if she lights up or shrugs it off, but you can control what you say and why. That's where the power lies, not in her smile, but in your stance. When you hit this mark, she doesn't just hear you, she feels it. She's not brushing off another "you're hot." She's pausing, registering that you've seen past the obvious. That's rare. That's what lingers. So, it's not about gaming her favor or stacking charm points. It's about being present, cutting through the noise, and calling out what's real when it's due. The best compliments don't come from a script, they come from eyes open, ears on, catching what others miss. When you land one like that, she doesn't just nod and move on, she carries it with her. And that, brother, sticks to you, not because you chased it, but because you earned it. Let's take a step back, widen the lens, and see the bigger picture here. Life throws a lot at us: noise, chaos, endless distractions, but if we're honest, most of it's just static. We can't control the storm, but we can control what we put into it. Take texting, for instance. It's not about the letters you mash into your phone or the seconds it takes to hit send. No, it's about the currents you stir, the ripples you set loose in someone else's mind. Every message you craft has the power to do one of three things: spark a flicker of curiosity, weave a slow-burning thread of anticipation, or make her feel truly seen in a way that cuts through the haze. If it's not landing one of those punches, it's just another forgettable ping in her inbox, something she'll skim without a second thought, then ditch when the next notification rolls in. That's not where you wanted to be. So let's lock this in, strip it down to the essentials, and build something deliberate. Here's the playbook. First up, curiosity. It's a trap, but the good kind she walks into willingly. You don't spill the whole story up front. You drop a breadcrumb, a half-glimpsed shadow, and let her mind do the rest. Say you're out somewhere, and just text, "I'm at a bar." Instead, try, "This place has a story I can't quite figure out yet. It's vague, it's alive, it begs a question." She's left wondering, what's the story? Why is it sticking with you? Her imagination kicks in, and now she's hooked, itching to dig deeper. That's the pulse of it. Curiosity doesn't just keep the conversation going, it keeps her invested, because she's chasing the thread you've dangled. Most people don't get this. They over-explain, they overshare, they smother the mystery. But you're smarter than that. You know restraint is the hook. Next, anticipation. This one's about tension, the slow pull of what's coming next. It's not about grand declarations or over-the-top promises, it's subtler, sharper. You plant a seed that keeps her tuned in. Maybe it's, "I've got something for you later, but you'll have to wait and see." Or, "This week's been wild, remind me to tell you about it tomorrow." It's a tease, a quiet tether that turns a throwaway text into something she can't shake. Anticipation transforms the mundane into a gum. She's not just replying anymore. She's leaning forward, waiting for the next move. The beauty here is simplicity. You don't need fireworks, you just need intent. Most guys miss this. They fire off texts like they're checking boxes. No depth, no draw. But when you wield anticipation, you're not begging for her attention. You're the one setting the rhythm. And then there's the third piece, making her feel seen. This isn't about tossing out generic flattery, you're pretty, or you're cool won't cut it. That's surface level noise, and it fades fast. No, this is about spotting something real at her core and calling it out with precision. Maybe it's the way she lights up when she talks about something she loves, or the quiet strength she doesn't even realize she carries. You text, "I don't think you know how rare it is to see someone think like that," or "That thing you said earlier, it's been rattling around in my head all day." It's specific. It's unguarded. It lands like a hammer. When you see past the shell, past the Instagram filters, and the small talk, you forge a connection. Most can't touch. That's what sticks. It's not manipulation, it's recognition. And in a world drowning in shallow chatter, that kind of clarity is rare as hell. Here's the rub. Most guys don't get this. They slog through the same tired, formulaic chats, flat, predictable, no heat, no pull. "Hey, how's your day? What's up?" over and over, like they're stuck in a loop. Then they're baffled when she stops replying, when the thread goes cold. They're out there throwing spaghetti at the wall, hoping something sticks, while she's already scrolled past them. But you're not them. You're past that noise. From now on, every text you send has a spin, a calm, sharp, emotionally awake. You're not just typing, you're building something. That's what makes it flow. That's what sets you apart. Think about it. When a woman feels something real, curiosity tugging at her thoughts, anticipation simmering in the background, or the quiet jolt of being truly seen, she doesn't just answer. She leans in. She's not on autopilot anymore. She's present, engaged, maybe even a little restless. And here's the kicker. You're not the one scrambling for her notice anymore. You're not chasing, pleading, or overcompensating. You're the one she's waiting on. The dynamic flips. She's checking her phone, wondering when you'll hit her up next. That's power, but not the loud, chest-thumping kind. It's quiet, steady, earned. This isn't about tricks or gamesmanship, it's about purpose. Stoicism teaches us to strip away the fluff, to focus on what we can control, and to act with intention. Texting's no different. You can't force her response, but you can damn well make sure what you send carries weight. The world's full of people firing off half-baked thoughts, desperate for a reply. You don't have to be one of them. You can stand apart, not because you're trying harder, but because you're thinking clearer. So where do you start? Pick one of these three and run with it today. Curiosity's your move. If you want her mind racing, drop a hint and let it breathe. Anticipation's the play. If you're building something slow and steady, tease the next step and watch her hang on. Or go for the deep cut. See her for real. Say it plain and let it sink in. Whichever you choose, commit to it. Don't half-ass it. A text isn't just a text anymore, it's a signal, a choice, a piece of you. Make it count. If this flipped a switch for you, let me know in the comments. Which of these three are you locking in with today? Curiosity, anticipation, or that rare, genuine spark? Tell me how it lands, what you're seeing, what's shifting. Let's keep the fire going. This isn't a one-off. There's more to unpack, more to chew on, and I'll be back with it next time. Stick around. Catch you there. If this message resonates with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that will help you create the life you truly deserve. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.